Hello, my friends. Today is another Career Tip Tuesday, and I get a lot of questions about my personal career journey, and I realized that I've never actually shared it on any of my quote-unquote platforms. I started doing career tips earlier this year, and then I just assumed that people knew my career, but you guys don't. So I thought I would share a little snippet of my career journey with you. So I guess we'll take it back to going to college. I entered college, I went to TCU, Texas Christian University, go Frogs, and I was originally a communication studies and political science major. So my end goal was I wanted to be a speechwriter for a politician. And I think it was the first week of school that I actually dropped the poli-sci major, and I stuck with communication studies for the first semester and then realized that what I really wanted to do was called strategic communication, and it was the combination of advertising and PR. So I switched my major. That was one that you had to apply to get into. Switched my major, got in, was so excited. I remember it was spring break, the first day of spring break. I got home, checked my email at 11 p.m. and my mom was going to bed, and I was just screaming, and I was like, oh my god, I got in to Stratcom, which is how we said strategic communication. I was pumped. And it really did turn out to be the perfect major for me. It was exactly what I wanted to do before I even knew that that's what I wanted to do. So it was perfect. Yeah, so also that semester I went to a networking event they had on campus, and I met the athletic director, and he said that they were taking on interns for the TCU Athletic social media program, and I applied and got it. So I was one of the very first social media interns for TCU Athletics, and that really just changed, honestly, the entire trajectory of my career, period. That was I know that was super early as a freshman to get an internship, but it really did impact where I am today. So I actually continued that internship all throughout the 4 years of college after I got it. So really, honestly, just a quick tidbit about it. It was the best experience of my life. No, I did not go to tailgates. No, I wasn't in the student section for home games or anything like that. But I got to be on the field. I got to travel to the Peach Bowl when TC went to the Peach Bowl and was credentialed press for that, and got to go to this party and stuff. It was, I got to go to all of these different events and meet really interesting people, and it just, I can't imagine not spending a game day, working 8 hours on the field, in the press box, shooting content. It was just absolutely incredible, and I'm so thankful for that opportunity. That's all I'm going to say about TCU Athletics. I could go on forever. So from TCU Athletics, that next year, so my sophomore year, we had a project in one of my classes to support something called Frogs for the Cure, which was a nonprofit organization we kind of had on campus. And so we were to help support them in PR efforts, and I got connected with kind of the woman who led that organization on campus, and she kind of took me on as more of an intern role for that year and the next year. So, I remember things were pretty crazy that year. It was the anniversary, and we had Laura Bush coming to campus, and we had this big gala that I helped her organize and do seating charts and tickets and things like that. But I was in her office sometimes from until 2 a.m. in the morning. It was insane, but I got to go to the lunch with Laura Bush. I got to go to the gala and see Bernadette Peters. If you don't know her, she is phenomenal. She's a performer, and so it was a lot of hard work, but absolutely an incredible experience. And because I helped her with that, she got me introduced to the manager at the TCU bookstore, which was owned by Barnes & Noble at the time. It's not anymore, but they were looking for a social media coordinator, and so they took me on as a social media coordinator for, I think I did that for 2.5 years, which was pretty crazy to think about them just having a college student run their social media programs. But I did incredible work. I don't have the stats on it right now, but if you search for my resume or LinkedIn, I probably have it there. But really helped them grow their following and their engagement, and really loved working there just because I loved the freedom of it. They were just kind of like, go do you, really. And I was like reporting directly to the manager, and I didn't have to like work the sales floor or anything. So it was really, really nice, really flexible. So I did that until the management switched, I think my senior year. And by that time I was in other internships and was like, I can't do this anymore. But it's a great experience. And wow, where am I? Oh, okay. So that was like my sophomore year. I also did like a remote internship for this brand that doesn't exist anymore in fashion. So my sophomore year, I had like 4 internships at once, which was absolutely insane, but really good experience, obviously. My sophomore year, I went to another networking event, and I met this incredible woman named Michelle Mitchell. You have to look her up. She's just like the most inspiring person to me ever. And I reached out to her a couple months later and was like, hey, I know you mentioned internships, like, are you taking interns? And she said yes. And so there I was, becoming an intern for her film company in New York City. Woo! I got to spend the summer working in Brooklyn. Luckily, my dad lives in New York, so I had housing and was all set for that. Oh, okay. So does not want to stay up there. But yeah, that was an incredible experience as well. We were working on a documentary called The Uncondemned. It was about the very first time that rape was prosecuted as a war crime. Whoa, deep. I know. I learned so much about rape and the Rwandan genocide. It was very, very intense material. We got to meet the wonderful ladies who were part of that case and got to talk to the lawyers who worked on it. We got to meet really incredible people. Michelle would take us to these talks and these dinners, and it was just, well, honestly, one of the most amazing, inspiring, kind of crazy times in my life. Like, I look back on it and I'm like, whoa, I can't believe I got to do that. So it was just so cool. And then junior year, came back. Wait, junior year, was I already working? Oh, I totally forgot. I think, was it? I actually can't remember the exact year of this. But for 2 semesters, I also worked at Roxo, which was our student-run advertising and PR agency. So for 1 year, I think that was my sophomore year. No,
that was your junior year.
It was junior and senior year, right? Okay, Jay can remember. So yeah, my junior year, I applied, and it was the second half of my junior year and the first half of my senior year. That's right. And I worked for them. We worked with different clients locally. I think we worked with some organizations like on campus. But really cool was we got to go to Panama for spring break. One of our clients was based in Panama, and I got to go. And my parents actually lived in Panama when my dad was stationed there in the Air Force. So it was just a really cool full circle moment. Also that year, so the summer between junior and senior year, I got to go to Ethiopia with a foundation called Adara. So we worked with them. They have a program like with jewelry making, so helping women support themselves. They also have a bakery, or at least did at the time, and there was one other, but they also had like a school and a daycare. So it was part mission trip, part like business trip to help them brainstorm new businesses or how to improve the business for the women and their workers over there. So amazing experience. I mean, I have an entire video called My Trip to Ethiopia that you can watch if you're interested in that more. but I also did kind of a follow-up internship that summer, helping create an ambassador program for them. Also that summer, because of all of my experience, they actually told me, due to my resume and the results I've already gotten, is how I got this internship. But I started interning at the Shed Aquarium, which was just amazing. I mean, that was another internship where I still pinch myself that I was able to do that. We worked for the aquarium. I was posting videos of otters and stingrays every day and just learning so much more about it, and really the true impact that an aquarium has on the environment, and kind of helping protect the animals and things like that. It was just amazing. And they of course had really cool perks. We got to go on different museum tours and behind the scenes looks and things like that. So really incredible. Senior year, I did ROXO again, that student-run PR agency. I was on the exec team for that. And then the second part of my senior year, I was actually an intern for a wedding planning company, which so different, so crazy, something I've always wanted to do. And honestly, an amazing experience as well. Ashley, who owns Treasure Heart Events, who I interned with, is absolutely incredible, absolutely inspiring. I did a Boss Babe feature on her, so go read that if you're interested in learning more. But it really was such a fun time to be a part of someone's wedding like that. It was amazing. So all my internship experience over the years in college were just so inspiring. Looking back on it right now, just talking about it, I'm getting emotional that I got to have those experiences. And all of that experience led to my first my first full-time job here in Chicago. I worked for a PR agency for a little over 2 years. I grew really fast there. We were a smaller agency, pretty nimble, but I started as an account coordinator, was promoted to account coordinator, account executive, then went to senior account executive before I switched jobs later this summer. But yeah, really, really incredible experience. I got to travel with them, got to work with some really cool brands. If you don't know much about PR, it's kind of hard to explain, but basically you are pitching a story to a reporter to try and get them to write a story about it. So it's not like you're buying advertising. It's a lot more strategic because you're not paying for it. It's free advertising essentially. So you have to really convince the reporter that this is a story that they're going to want to write. So my favorite placement on there was I did get a segment with Good Morning America. Oh, that was incredible. But yeah, so I really did love my time at that PR agency. I learned so much and I grew so much and I grew in confidence in my career, and I thank them every day for what they've done for me and how they helped me get to where I am. But yes, as some of you guys know, July or August of this year, I switched jobs and I am now called a customer success manager for a mobile marketing firm. So yeah, that's kind of the basics of my career journey. So I did over 10 internships in college. They were all within the marketing realm, but they were in social media, agency, nonprofit, sports, fashion, film. It's kind of all over the place, but it helped me learn exactly what I liked and what I didn't like. So that was really cool, and I'm glad I had all of those experiences. Oh, the trophy just poked me. Yeah. So I would say if you're looking for career advice based on my career, number one is just to try things out. I know people think that you have to stay on this very focused, this to this to this. But having a lot of experience, especially if you're in college, take internships that are kind of outside what you think you would want, because it really is so important to see. Maybe you find a passion that you didn't know you had, or maybe you find out that what you thought was your passion isn't really what you want to do day to day. So definitely try to get as much varied experience as you can. Number 2, probably the biggest one, is networking. Oh my gosh. Pretty much every job I got was networking. Like I said, TCU Athletics, I met the guy at a networking event. Because I interned with Frogs for the Cured, they led me to TCU Bookstore. She set up a meeting with them. So that was all due to networking. I networked with my professors, and I applied for Roxo, but I think my teacher recommendations really helped me out there. I met Michelle Mitchell when she came to TCU, and I networked with her and got an internship from her for that. Shed Aquarium was the only one that was pretty much, I applied online and didn't really know anyone there. But that came into play because at my most recent role, my supervisor who interviewed me when I was going through the interview process, his wife was my supervisor at Shed Aquarium. What? You can't even plan that kind of stuff. You can't... What? I'm still in shock about that one. So basic of the story is always use your connections. Networking is so important. It was actually my mentor who got me in touch with the HR representative at my current company, and I kept in touch with her for 3 years after school to eventually move over there this summer. So networking, oh my god, I'm getting so passionate about this. Networking is so important, and more than just meeting people and keeping in touch with them, make sure that no matter where you are, make sure you are always being nice and respectful. Can you imagine, I don't even think I had Shed Aquarium on my resume, but can you imagine if I went in for my interview and I was awful at the Shed Aquarium and was a really mean person, and he went back and was oh yeah, I interviewed this girl, blah blah blah, and his wife was oh, I worked with her, she was awful, I would never have the job I have right now. That almost, because I actually kept in touch with her from the Shed Aquarium, she was able to say, she almost served as an extra reference for me. So always be nice. Always treat people with respect. You never know who knows someone. This world is so freaking small. If you don't know that, you will learn. It is the smallest world. And especially if you're living and working in a city, you are going to start running into people who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone. So just always be a good person. Always leverage your connections as much as you can. And the last piece of advice that I want to leave you, one that I really treasure and has really impacted my entire career and is the reason I have the job I have right now and where I am today, is you have to realize at a certain point that your career falls solely in your hands. It is not going to be up to a networking connection. It is not up to your parents. It is not going to be because of what you put on your resume. It is solely in your hands. You have to really take control. You have to really shape and mold your career how you want it. If you want a role, go after it. If you're not qualified for that yet, learn how you can get those qualifications, or learn how your experience will match that. I'll probably have to do a whole video on this, but the second that you realize your career is solely in your hands, it's not up to your boss, it's not up to HR, it is up to you to take control of it and take ownership for your work and your career path, the easier it's gonna get. And the more motivated and confident you're gonna be, because you're gonna realize, really at the end of the day, it comes down to you. And that seems probably a little scary saying it, but when you really think about it, it is so empowering that you can do anything you want to do in your career. You have total control over it. And I will leave you with that. So that is my career journey. If you have any more questions, please feel free to DM me. I love talking about my career and my career tips. I do this a lot, but if you have like a resume or a specific question, like please feel free to email me. You can find my email in my Instagram and on my website. I'd love to kind of help you out. I can read your resume, help edit it for you, whatever you need. This is like, I guess, a little side passion on top of all my passions. It's just helping you guys out in your career because I have been so blessed by mine. So that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. Again, can't forget this tidbit, but like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And that's all I have. Bye.